舞台の上でも私は自由さ。マナーの悪いことはお断りさ。追い詰められた。これが切り札だ。シャドウパイレーツオペラ。シャドウフォルテッシモで畳みかけるよ。シャドウフライトセット。回ってきました。思惑通りです。私の歌に聞き惚れちまったかい。
Opera Karina is a permanent 5-star shadow bow unit, who is a substitute of Bella in the opera during her so-called kidnapping by Lapis. She is a bow support unit, which already puts her in a tight spot, with fierce competition against Dragalia in class, as well as Chell and Nefaria in both class and weapon. Honestly, I wasn't keen on her when I first saw her kit, but after playing around with her, I do think that she is quite reliable and has the potential to hold her own, though not what I've expected from a support unit. Let's find out why is that the case. Aria of the Sea deals around 3800% damage and inflicts Shadow Blight for 21 seconds. The attack is similar to Xena's second skill, albeit much smaller. The attack animation is also very long, and is long enough to iframe Kayan's longest spin attack. Shadow Blight is a new damage over time affliction exclusive to Shadow, and combined with Bleed and Poison they can deal a lot of damage with just afflictions alone. With a cost of 3444 SP, the charge time of the skill is relatively short, allowing Karina to deal a lot of damage in quick succession, though she has to look out for purple attacks when using this skill. Overall, this skill is impressive with high damage mods, low cost, and the new Shadow Blight affliction. Operatic Shanty creates a circular buff zone that provides a 15% crit rate buff to anyone inside it. With a cost of over 8600 SP, this skill has a similar issue with Nevin's skill too, meaning that as a supporter the supportive skill can't be activated quickly and often. However, this is the only issue with Opera Karina, and can be remedied by equipping Striking Haste Prints. Overall, this skill is slightly expensive for a proper support unit, which makes her different from other dedicated supporters, though many support units nowadays have a similar skill layout. The skill Haste Co ability works well for a supporter, whereas her new Chain Co ability, Poised Light Resist, is actually pretty useful, especially if Dragalia or Nevin is in a solo team. As this ability isn't exclusive to Karina's own buff circle, the more buff circles are there in the field, the higher the chance and perhaps the longer the duration of the 7% light resist buff for the team. Her first ability, Shadow Blighted Punisher, works exactly as any Punisher built into a unit, and is a pretty useful ability to buff her damage even more. Her 100% paralysis resist is standard for some Shadow units, and pretty useful for dealing with the oversized Thunder Chicken. Poised Obliteration buffs crit damage by 30% when Karina is in a buff zone, further increasing her damage output. For a support unit, her supportive skill is overshadowed by the self-crit damage buff and her insane modifiers on her skill 1. Hence, a hybrid of her offensive and supportive builds is applicable for Opera Karina. For dragons, the newcomer Giovanni, who isn't the one destroyed by Gordon Ramsay in Hell's Kitchen, suits Karina well, with his crit rate ability, as it works well with her own crit damage buff ability. Other applicable dragons include Azazel, Catsith, Shinobi, Epimetheus and Merishitan. For her weapons, the Agito bow is always the best option, especially for shadow units due to the attack rate skill. Chimera Tech is a decent alternative if you do not have the Agito bow. If you have extra high zodiac tails and horns lying around, the high zodiac bow is also a preferable option. For Wimprints, these will do, with slightly more focus on offense than support. Opera Karina can just as well throw away her support unit tag in favor of an attack unit tag with how high her damage mods are, plus her slow charging support skill. When compared to other support units, she even falls behind Chell in supportive ability, with some Gacha support units performing leagues above her. Even so, as a unit she performs well, and definitely usable in endgame fights. Overall, she is a welcomed addition to the shadow element, with a fast charging high damage skill and a new damage over time affliction. Now go out there and be an opera legend in the high seas. That's all from me. Moga out.
私の歌に聞き惚れちまったかい？